Hello, hello. May God bless you and may prosper you this day. My name is Rick and I am the cryptocurrency Watchman. Okay, we're going to take a look at the coins from yesterday. As I said yesterday, we weren't looking for any big money, nothing really major. Actually, kind of a slow day, and that's pretty much what it was. Except for two of the coins that we looked at yesterday. So, um, Altcoin, we'll start with that. If you remember, I drew the trend line yesterday, and we were right about in here. And I told you, keep an eye on it. I had the trend line up. Look for it to hit the trend line. It did hit the trend line. It did test it. It actually went a little bit past it. You could almost consider this a breakout. Technically, it is from what I drew here, but then we saw a jump up from there. Of course, this wasn't a confirmation. You always want to look for your confirmation, especially if you see a hair of a breakout going on here. And then sure enough, it started to drop, and there's our breakout right there. That's an indication that we may be beginning a downward trend. And sure enough, that's exactly what it did. However, it does look like we might have a little more movement back up. So you might want to keep an eye on this. You could pull some more numbers out of this one. This is a pretty good confirmation of an upward trend, even though it looks like down here in the chart here we're a little. It's actually showing that we're a little overbought, according to the Stoke here, the RSI. Okay, the RSI stands for Relative Strength Index. It gives us an indication of a coin being overbought or oversold. You can see we've had some nice peaks, and it is a little overbought right now. However, it is going up, and it doesn't seem to affect it too much. You can see it doesn't go too far past that peak once it gets overbought. But according to the indication, we're actually looking at a little bit of a downturn. So I wouldn't get in yet. It looks like it could go up, but wait for a strong confirmation on this one. Okay, the next one that we looked at was pink coin. We were seeing a nice, a nice little trend going on with pink coin. But I told you, that we saw the retrace, we saw the gradual rise. It could have gone up higher, but of course I told you to keep an eye on it. Wait for your confirmation. And we had this jump, a little bit of a jump here. We're actually right about almost in here, and we saw it. And sure enough, there's our black cloud. It broke the trend line, obviously, and is kind of consolidating out. I want to make a mention on some of these coins, especially yesterday when you saw everything turn red for the most part. Bitcoin is going up, and as we know, everything is tied to Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin is going up, a lot of times these coins will give a false reading. You can't go by the percentages and what they're showing. You have to look. Sometimes you have to go and look at the dollar amount, the actual dollar amount of these coins. And even though it may show that the coin is dropping, that's not necessarily dropping in value. Remember, this is set up in Satoshis, and as Bitcoin rises, the other coin may not be dropping. It's just an indication that Bitcoin is going up, even though the price of the coin that you're looking at is still the same. Okay, you can actually see that right here on CoinMarketCap. We stayed at 2 cents. I'm sorry. Better indications is here on Bittrex. We stayed at 2 cents, even though we're talking about fractions of a cent when you're talking about a coin at this rate. Still, it didn't really lose value. It pretty much kind of hovered around the same thing. And this is more of an indication of Bitcoin going up than it is pink coin going down. However, we didn't make any money off of this one, but you can see it starting to consolidate. So you might want to keep an eye on this one. It could make a move. Okay, MadeSafe for the next one that we looked at. We had looked like it was beginning of a nice little trend going with MadeSafe, and we did. We had a nice trend. If you got in down here, you made some money with MadeSafe. But right about here was when we were looking at it yesterday, and I told you to keep an eye on it. Look for your confirmation. It was on a retrace, and once you start seeing it go up at that point, obviously that's where you want to buy, because it might have continued up. But sure enough, it's probably about the time that I put this video out. Look at this dark cloud. Oh my gosh, look at the drop. However, if you kept an eye on the dark cloud and you caught this thing at the bottom, you still made some money. You had a nice jump right here, and you could have easily pulled some money out of this one. So if you were watching it, by the time the video came out and hit, maybe by the time you saw it, maybe you caught it on the downtrend right here. So yeah, I mean, there was definitely some money to be made on this. However, hopefully you didn't get in here, but if you did, stay in because it's going up again. You can see this beginning; it's already beginning, an uptick here. Um, I don't know if you could call this a buy sign. I mean, if I was to draw a trend line down through here, it definitely broke the trend line, and it is in an upward trend for the most part. You could see some numbers out of this one. Just keep an eye on it. It looks like the way that it's going right now, if you got in right now, you might be able to pull 5% out of this one, but I would give it a little more time. I wouldn't jump in just yet. Give it a little more time and look for a little more confirmation before you think about getting into this one. But this is not one of my picks for today. Okay, the next one is Storage Coin. Remember, I kind of mentioned this one yesterday, even though it wasn't. I didn't really call it a pick. I wanted to show you how the highs and lows on this thing was working, and how there's some good money to be made off of this coin as a day trader. But look what happened when we were looking at it. We were right about here when we were looking at it yesterday, and if you were watching this coin, like I told you, keep an eye on it. If you're just looking to just kind of make that 5% off and on during the day, this is like I said, this is a day trader's dream right here. And look at this. Look at this jump. I mean, this was well over 10% right here. And if you caught it on the retrace, you made another 5% easy off of this coin. So, yeah, some good money to be made in storage coin yesterday. Okay, and of course we have Digibyte. Stay in Digibyte. I'm telling you guys, stay in Digibyte. From where we were looking at it yesterday, we had this drop. I believe that this is more of an indication of Bitcoin going up. I really do, because then it just shot right back up. We had little bit of a consolidation, and then the jump right back up, and then it just kept on climbing. I mean, we saw over 25% increase, at least up to this point. We had a little bit of a retrace, but it's still going up. Digibyte's going to be huge. Do not get out of Digibyte yet. I don't care what the signs are showing you. I don't care what the indications are showing you. Digibyte is going to be huge. Stay in Digibyte. This is obviously one of my picks for today. Okay, the next one is Ripple to keep an eye on today. You can see that I drew a trend line here. It was on a downward trend. We saw this huge jump, nice little jump on Ripple, and then it just kind of worked its way down. A little bit of money to be made here and there. You can work trend lines on some of these smaller jumps too, guys. If you just learn how to use your lines. I'm actually going to be doing a class on using all these different tools. I try to keep it simple and basic, because we're looking for between 5 and 10% a day. I try to keep it conservative and keep it simple, because so it's not this big elaborate thing, trying to make hundreds and hundreds of dollars every day, or whatever it may be. Of course, depending on how much money you're working with, you can make hundreds and hundreds of dollars, a day. But anyway, you can see that we broke the trend line here, and went from resistance to support now, and we're actually up in an upward trend, at least the beginning of one. I wouldn't call this a buy sign just yet. I would give it a little more time. Let's see if it goes up and what it does with this line here. Now you could work another support line or another trend line. Maybe somewhere in, let's see. You could work another trend line up in here, parallel with this one, and see if it continues up this channel. If it continues to test this line, you're going to see some more jumps, and it might even see some higher numbers here. But if it breaks the line, then you may want to wait and just see if it goes back up. If it breaks the trend line here, we could see some higher numbers, but this lower one is the one that you really want to focus on. If you see a breakout here, it may start back down, but it looks like it's just testing it. So at this point, if you see it going up, you may want to consider jumping in, because that would definitely be an indication of an upward trend on this one, and you could see some decent numbers out of this one. Like I always say, be conservative. Be happy with 5%. Shoot for 10. 10 would be great. More than that would be great. But don't lose your profits. Use your stop losses. I'm also going to be doing stop losses in my teaching also. I'll let you guys know about that. But shoot me an email if you're interested in the teaching. Just let me know, because I'm going to be putting this thing together, and if you're interested in it, I will certainly put you on the list. I am going to be charging for it. I don't know how much, but it's going to be a very, very informative class, and it's going to be simplified to show you how to make money, reading these charts, investing every day as a day trader, and making consistent money. Okay, I've got to hurry a little bit here. I'm kind of falling behind. However, Lisk has broken the trend line here. We had a nice little jump here. It's on a retrace. Keep an eye on this one. It could, if you see it going back up, you can see that if we drew a support line right here, right across here, if it goes back up, you're gonna see some better numbers here. And if it comes back down to the support line and then makes another jump, then yeah, you might have a couple opportunities to actually make some money out of this one today. So keep an eye on Lisk. Okay, next one is Sissy Coin. We've seen some pretty good numbers out of Sissy Coin. You can see that we had a pretty good consolidation, a nice little jump here, and then the retrace. But looks like we're still on an upward trend here. So you might want to think about getting into Sissy Coin today, because you might be able to pull another 5% or so, or more out of this one. So yeah, it's definitely a buy sign as far as I'm concerned. I mean, this one, you may want to see, maybe give it another one or two candles just to see if it does retrace a little bit and then jump in. But it is on an upward trend right now. You can see right here that it definitely broke the resistance line. This is a definite buy sign on this one. It's on an upward trend. It's a little oversold, but that's okay. That doesn't mean it's not going to continue going up. So yeah, this is probably a good one to get in to make at least 5% today. Okay, Bitcoin, man, we haven't seen much out of this one. This one's been moving so little that those candlesticks, they're like little half candlesticks, because the movement is so small. You can't really show it on the candlestick. And for the first time in a long time, Bitcoin is actually moving enough to where they can actually put a regular candlestick on it. It's in an upward movement. You might see some good numbers out of this one today. Let's look at it on Coin. Yeah, you can see we have a nice little trend going right here. I would wait, I would give a little more time, see if it's going to continue up, but it's definitely in an upward trend right now. Hold on, so let me do something. Yeah, I was just kind of checking some things on it. I would keep an eye on this one. I would look for a little more of a buy sign at this point, because it does seem to be leveling out a little bit here. Look to see if it makes another jump here. If it does, you might want to think about getting in, because you might be able to pull 5% out of this one. Be careful with this one though, because we haven't seen a lot out of it in the past, and it may just be a small movement as compared to what it's done. Okay, the last one is library credits. It has broken the resistance line, and looks like we're on a nice little upward trend today. I think going to see some good numbers out of this one today. We're pretty much at a buy sign on this one. I would go and get in on this one, guys. Set your stop losses, and just keep an eye on it. You could pull 10% out of this one today. It is definitely going up. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. You guys be blessed. Please tell all your friends to subscribe, and shoot me an email. See if you're interested in the teaching. It'll be a fair price. It's gonna be about 2 hours long, but it's gonna keep everything simplified. Thanks, guys.